Simon Bridges.
I'm not going to dwell on that sorry excuse for a speech, but to hear from the Leader of the Opposition talking about the Prime Minister not coming clean, about what can I get away with, well, that's rich from a guy who won't tell us how much money he's got in a Chase Manhattan bank account. And rich is the right word for it, actually, because I suspect the reason that member won't tell us is because he is rich. And that doesn't fit the narrative that he wants to leave with this House in his short time remaining as leader. But actually, I want to start this speech today, Mr. Speaker, congratulating Shane Jones, because there has been a huge amount that Shane Jones has said recently that I have wholeheartedly agreed with in relation to resource development. He's talked about mining, creating job openings for low-income Māori families, and how he's tired of the, quote, hostile rhetoric from the Greenies. He's talked about how his visit to Taranaki provides the opportunity to reinforce the importance of the mining industry and the need for the future Labour-led government to assuage whatever anxieties might be there in the minds of employers or future investors. He's talked about offshore oil and gas drilling being an essential feature of domestic and export growth, and businesses enabling it would get the full government support. He goes on and on. But the small problem is, Mr. Speaker, just as Shane Jones doesn't talk about his movie tastes with his colleagues, neither has he sought their views on resources, let alone asked the real policy drivers in the Labour Greens coalition, the Green Party MPs, what they think. How else, Mr. Speaker, can you explain what his colleagues have said and done? Annette King, Grant Robertson, the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, put out a pamphlet last year asking to stop South Coast oil drilling. They then sought donations to campaign against oil drilling. Moana Maki, the member who is, many of you may not know this watching on your box sets, but the spokesperson for the opposition on these matters, has put out a press release, exploration not such a golden opportunity. She's talked about drilling mining development being flawed economic development strategy. This is not where New Zealand's economic future lies, she says. You're right to ask, Ms. Tolley, are these people in the same party as Mr. Shane Jones, let alone what the Greens have said? Catherine Delahunty on mining, it's a, quote, unforgivable devastation. On the Crown Minerals legislation, it is a, quote, declaration of war. Gareth Hughes, dirty, old-fashioned 19th century economic agenda. It is not an economic strategy for this country. Oil and gas is not the answer, he says. It's time to, quote, stand up to foreign oil industries. Well, what an insult to the 15,000 people in this country and growing, working in that industry, Mr. Speaker. But here is the kicker. The rank, actually disaster porn scaremongering from the Green Party that presumably Moana Maki and Grant Robertson support after the Wellington earthquakes, when they're on social media all over the show with their anti-science, anti-evidence rhetoric, linking the two. Clearly the age of reason, the age of the Enlightenment, all science had passed that party by, Mr. Speaker, because without a skerrick of evidence, without any basis, they are linking oil and gas to the earthquakes. Well, the 19th century had a word for that Green Party. They called it quackery. What's that? Quackery. I'm not talking, Mr. Heatley, about Trevor Mallard. It's actually much worse than that. It's the false and fraudulent promotion of fraudulent science. And this House, Mr. Speaker, actually in 1908, you'll be interested to know, passed the Quackery Prevention Act. I'm not suggesting we use it on the Green Party, Mr. Speaker, but actually maybe New Zealanders should simply know that Shane Jones is out on his own in the Labour Greens coalition, that coalition of quacks, when he talks about the support for the 15,000 hard-working New Zealanders in that industry, the billions of dollars, $4 billion it brings to this country. And so I say to New Zealanders who want to back resources and jobs, vote National at the next election.
Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you,